So it has a brew. I do have it in. I do have 500 mils of tea, half a litre. Somebody asked me where I got this from. If you can't see, it actually says Sports Direct on it. Sports Direct is a company over here that does discount sports stuff. So if you're a chav over here, that's kind of where you get. Well, actually, no. To be fair, if you travel with money, you go to JD Sports. If you're a scab and you've got no money, you go to Sports Direct and buy things like ridiculously cheap socks and tracksuit bottoms and trainers and all sorts. It's kind of like a sports shop, but it's like a cheap sports shop. It's sort of like the place that really scabby, horrendous people go that literally got no money. They do some really cool stuff though, but they also do some really good mugs. You can pick these up for like £1 a go or something silly, or you can actually get them free. Like no matter what you buy in Sports Direct online, when you buy one, they send you a free mug. It's a bit weird. I think I've got 2 of these now. I'm very tempted to give one away because I'm like, well. But anyway, 2 things I was going to talk about. Console Wars was going to be the main thing, but the first thing I want to talk about, because Lake of Lava did this and ruined tea for all mankind, was said about putting sugar with tea, which is a big no-no. You just don't do that. If you put sugar with tea, you're a pussy-hole. You need to question your masculinity. As with Lipson tea, some bloody Polish fool Seb on Twitter, unless you're British or Indian or Chinese, you've got no say in the matter on tea. If you drink Lipson tea, you need to question your sexuality. You need to question your masculinity, because it's absolutely horrendous. But yeah, you don't put sugar in it. You may or may not have milk. I'll give you that. As much as I prefer it with milk, you may or may not have milk, because I know some people don't like milk. And if you've got proper decent specialty tea, you don't necessarily want to ruin it with milk. Something like Red Bush or sort of like Robust tea or something like that's quite nice. I like some herbal tea. Herbal shit. And the Americans cannot make tea. I'm sorry, you Americans, you bang on about tea. I'm sorry, unless Yorkshire tea is the best tea you can probably buy. That's like standard sort of tea, if you know what I mean, like off the shelf standard industrial tea that you get like bags and bags of the stuff, as opposed to something like Twinings is probably the best tea you can buy that isn't too specialist, but that's very, very expensive. And to be honest, the taste isn't that much better than something like Yorkshire tea. PG Tips is probably the worst tea ever. They claim it's like the best, but it's not. PG Tips is shit. Tetley is shit. I don't even know what else is going on now. I think that's Sainsbury's own red label stuff isn't bad, actually. I'll give you that one. It's quite cheap and it's not that expensive. It's not expensive and it's not that bad. Anyway, the actual main topic of the video was going to be console wars, because I was kind of having this, well, not really a debate. There was a few actually. Barrel Chatter Online, they were going on about it. I'll put a link in the description below where you can find their their video and their channel, because they're really good. They're really good guys. Used to be called Nuketown Hooligans. They were really good, and then they changed to Fireteam Hooligan, and it's, I don't know, it's not as good IMO as when they used to be Nuketown Hooligans, and I think they seem to be suffering a bit in views, but definitely worth checking them out. But anyway, console wars. So obviously we've had the Xbox One reveal, and I've done my little video on it, and I've done my opinions on it, and there's a few other bits and pieces that the people are sort of coming out with rumours. Look, until Microsoft turn around to us and specifically say yes or no to specific rumours, just shut up going on about it, because we won't know until it goes out majorly anyway, so it actually becomes released into the world. You can buy it, and you know, we've got a proper price and things. It's the same with PlayStation 4. I think we have a bit of a better idea what the PlayStation 4 is going to be, because the Xbox, I think probably Microsoft saw that PlayStation were releasing something and then thought, shit, we better release something, just show what we're currently working on. I don't think it's necessarily anywhere near to being ready. I think they're going to probably rush it, because they obviously aren't ready for it as much as the PlayStation was, because let's be honest, one of them is going to lead the market and say, right, we're going to do this, and then the second one's going to have to do sort of play catch up and do the same sort of thing, because it's just the way it is. They're not going to both be developing separate consoles at the same time. I mean, they might be, but they won't be developing it to then roughly come out at the same time, because that's not how it works. But yes, console wars in general are generally pathetic. I mean, I do take the piss and I say, you know, PC is the best platform out there, and generally I'm trolling people when I say that, but for me it is. Personally, for me it is. gaming and gaming consoles generally, it doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. Like, yes, there's annoyances with PlayStation. PlayStation 3. We'll talk about now for a minute. And yes, there's annoyances with Xbox 360. But generally, the platform you'll play on is the platform all your mates play on. So, I mean, for me, we were slightly differently because the majority of the mates that I have, I suppose yeah, played PlayStation 3. For whatever reason, I don't really know why. I think just because everybody else played on it, and therefore they obviously played on it and stuff. So they all played on PlayStation 3. Now, me being a bit of a geek and being a bit of a nerd and wanting better experiences and wanting because that's going to get so much hate if I say better experiences, better graphics, faster frame rates, more customization, modding, things like that. Because I wanted that, I went to PC. Now, since going to PC, I've gathered some more internet quote unquote friends, I suppose, and therefore we play on that platform. So for me, I won't probably go to the Xbox One. I probably won't buy an Xbox One. I probably won't buy a PlayStation 4 because nobody that I play with regularly is going to be on those sorts of platforms. I mean, there's a few people that play Xbox that I play with once in a blue moon, but to be honest, I don't hop on Xbox enough. I'm so shit at playing because I don't play regularly that I'm not worth having on my team. Of course, you can add me on Xbox Live as and when I'm on, as you chill on Xbox Live, but yeah, I don't play console games anymore. And to be honest, my Xbox 360 is gathering dust, and I've got a connector with it, which I very rarely use. And it's a very divisive topic generally. And I suppose I kind of get why. It's because people want to justify why they've got the system they've got. They like to think that they've got the best system and this, that, and the other, and they like to think they're better than everybody else because they've got an Xbox or because they've got a PlayStation or because they've got a PC. And realistically, it doesn't matter. If you're happy with the platform that you play on, what's the issue? I mean, yes, there's annoyances with everything, but to be honest, they're not like, unless you play on the Wii U regularly. Then, because the Wii U is absolutely rubbish. I don't know why the hell you don't want it. Maybe your family might own one, but as a gamer, no. You might own one just out of interest because it's cheap. But would you game on it regularly? Probably not, as like a proper gamer would. And I know the MLG crowd, which I'm going to say this: MLG people are just fucking idiots. They're nothing. I'm not going to say that I'm like the best gamer ever because I'm not. I'm not MLG level, but at the same time, MLG players are slightly better than the average, but they're not the best of the best by any stretch of the imagination, because the best of the best don't play MLG. The best of the best are already getting the sponsorship individually. They don't need to play MLG, they don't need to rage, and they don't need to play Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is where all the MLG idiots play now. It's like, why? Because Call of Duty is so uncompetitive, it's just ridiculous. It's not a competitive game at all. It's a shit game, and it's just no. It's just not. What the fuck was that? Hello, runners just blazed past the window then. But anyway, so yeah, that was a major rant on MLG there. But yeah, the platform that you're happy to play on is a platform you should play on. Don't let anybody tell you what you should be playing on, unless of course it's your mates. If you've got 10 mates are all playing PlayStation 3, it'd be a bit stupid to go and buy an Xbox 360 if you've got nobody to play with. I mean, it's the same with like buying I wouldn't necessarily go out and recommend buying a PC unless you know what you're doing. I mean, PCs. I like PC because I know what I'm doing. B, I like the better frame rates. C, I can upgrade stuff as and when. We've got modding. We've got all sorts of really funky things like that. We've got a great community as well. But obviously the thing with PC is we don't necessarily have as many titles. We don't have as many players. We do have quite a lot of titles, but some stuff like gets delayed, like things like GTA 5 we have to wait for, which is a bit annoying, but that's kind of the nature of the beast, I suppose. It means that because by the time they port it over, which hopefully will be a good port because of obviously the new games consoles will be running AMD and x86, which is good. Yeah, we have to wait for things, but to be honest, we get a better community IMO. I think we do. People that play on PC generally tend to be a bit more up for a laugh. Yes, they're a bit more. They can be a bit elitist, a bit geeky, but generally they're more up for a laugh, and they take a lot more banter, and they kind of go a bit over the board with the banter sometimes, and it's quite funny. Like you can kind of like get away as a PC gamer, you sort of can get away with a lot of more questionable, unpolitically correct banter that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get away with on Xbox, because it's all your mama jokes on Xbox. It's just pathetic, and like things like Xbox and PlayStation 4 just played by like children, like 12-year-olds. Whereas with these with PC, you're getting the older generation, so like middle-aged 40s, and also you're getting like my generation. And late teens, like 16, 17, 18, so that sort of area, if mummy and daddy want to pay for their PC unless they have like a paper round or something. That was another dig at 16-year-olds. I know what I was like when I was 16. I did have a paper round as well, and it was crap. I got paid like £4 a week. It was rubbish. But yeah, don't let anybody tell you what you should be playing, because at the end of the day, it's your money. It's you that's going to be playing on the platform, and that's it. And this is what I say about most things. It's your money. You don't. If people hate on you for buying a product, I mean, that says more about the person than it does about anybody else. I mean, yeah, fair enough. If you do buy a stupid product, then fair enough. Expect to get hate. So that's kind of it, I suppose. There's not. I've been very politically correct in my answer there. Really, it's basically just get whatever the fuck you want. Don't look at people like me, because to be honest, Xbox One is going to be good. Yeah, there might be some annoyances there, maybe possibly with DRM, but I don't think they will, because it goes against EU regulations, it goes against UK regulations as well. The EU will make up a massive chunk of the market. In actual fact, probably about as big as the US market. I'm not too sure, because you think the likes of Germany and France and Spain and all these other countries that are all likely, and things like Sweden and Norway and all the Nordic countries, and then obviously the UK, which will make up a massive part of the market. So they'd be stupid to try and do that. Not only will the EU get teasy, but they'll probably fine them again, because the EU like fining Microsoft for silly things like Internet Explorer, and it's just odd. I don't quite know why it matters, but the EU they don't like this. They're very anti-competition, they don't like Microsoft being very anti-competition. It's funny with they have not done the same with Apple though, which is interesting. Like, they've not told Apple, oh, you can't bundle things with Safari. I don't think. I'm trying to rack my brain, but anyway. Two final things to end on. One, somebody asked me why I don't do like a half-hour one of these. Very simple reason. A, I've got nothing to talk about. Not really. I haven't really got much to talk about for half an hour. B, it would take me so much more time to edit a half an hour piece of content than it would like 10, 15 minutes. And B, I'd need a co-presenter. And I'm quite happy to do it if I've got a co-presenter and people are interested in that. But and nobody will watch it either. I mean, if I had like 1,000 subscribers, I might consider it. If people were asking for it, I might do. But I only am saying this because two people have asked me why I haven't, or why I don't do it like the tech, and so I'm basically just answering that. Second of all, what else was I was going to... Oh yes, I might do just because it's like an interest thing of mine, I might do something a little bit different next week, in terms of like my personal equipment for going out and about, like knives and shit, because it was only because I was having a conversation on Skype last night with Evernux and TD90 UK about knives and things, and I'm a scout leader, and we were sort of getting into the whole debate about knives and what knives are good and stuff. And I did think way back I might do a few reviews of knives and like maybe go out to Dartmoor and stuff. But I'm thinking what I might do next week is possibly do one of those. See what you guys think. If you think it's a load of crap, you're not interested, then we'll not worry about it. But it'll only get 50 views anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to drink my brew. I will at some point, I think when I hit 200 subscribers, because that matters more than views, to be honest. I suppose it doesn't. I think I will do a giveaway at some point. I'm not too sure what. I've got a free copy of Avengers kicking around, actually, which I need to... I've got 2 copies of Avengers. One for myself. It's on Blu-ray. It's not region locked either. It's completely region free. So I might give that away, and a few other bits perhaps. Just little shitty bits I've got kicking around. But apart from that, I shall catch you in a later video.